One of the questions I get asked at this time every year is, should I buy in September in Breckenridge? The market is shifting and the latest numbers might surprise you. I'm Laura Fisher, a luxury broker here in Breckenridge and owner of Ski Colorado Real Estate. I work with buyers and sellers every single day and every month. Stick around and let's look at the August numbers together. And you can let me know in the comments below if you feel September is a good time to buy. So here we are with the Breckenridge housing update for August of 2025. And let's take a look here at some of the key numbers. Now, a median price, as you probably know, is not an average price. It means half of the sales are above the median price and half are below. Well, believe it or not, we are down 10% year over year from last year with our median sales price. Now, when you see these prices, we are considering townhomes, condos, and luxury homes as well. I have a couple of high-end luxury homes on the market right now, and I give my sellers weekly updates, and what we are seeing is we have roughly 25 and we've had maybe up to 28 homes in July on the market, and of course we're looking at August, so that's not a lot of homes that are roughly 5 million and up that are on the market. I was specifically looking at 5 to 8 million for them. So the point is, a few of those sales can easily change these market stats, if you will. However, it is shifting from a seller's market. If you remember COVID days, if you just listed a property for sale, then all of a sudden you had 5 offers before noon. But here we are taking a look at these numbers. You'll see in July the median was 1.1 million, and that is down this year. Looks like I froze it for a moment. So it is important, again, to take a look at these numbers and what does it overall mean, whether we're talking condos, luxury homes, or otherwise. Let's take a look at some additional data here. All right, so specifically for single family homes, you will see that we just have more inventory this year. So in August, we had an increase in 10% in sales volume, which is good. So we are increasing, as you'll see, by 2.6%, where we have the average price sold at 2.47 million. As you know, here in the mountains, our prices are a little bit more. We are still economical, if you will, compared to places like Aspen and Telluride, where I'm actually headed here in a couple of weeks. For townhomes, the average price sold is up 2%. Again, very moderate, but we'll take it. It's always good to know that here in the resort towns that our values usually hold a little bit stronger than maybe in other areas, whether it's Dallas or Denver or any place like that. Why is that? Because we have a lot of second homeowners and they don't necessarily have to sell their property, so they hang on to their properties and don't necessarily have to give them away, if you will. So at least we are seeing a moderate increase in the values. For condominiums, we're seeing a 5% in sales activity increase, and the average price sold is up 1% with an average of $874,000. Now keep in mind, condominiums can include everything from studios all the way up to 4-bedroom condominiums. I've rarely seen 5-bedroom. There are some in Keystone that I have seen, but in general we are talking studios. There's a handful in a few resorts, and then for the most part 1, 2, and 3-bedroom condominiums. So let's see what else we can look at. Median days on market. This isn't bad. We are seeing that we are showing 36 to 42 days on market. It's not horrible. However, when we look at this time last year, 15 days. on the market. So again, that increase of inventory is absolutely affecting our days on market. Quite simply, if we do easy math, and yes, I have a degree in mathematics, also studied electrical engineering, so I love numbers. But quite simply, if we have the exact same number of buyers that this year as last year, yet our inventory increases, of course, that means our days on market is going to increase. You also see, this is according to Zillow. Zillow is not the most accurate place for, especially for home values. You always want to get a custom market analysis. However, it is accurate as far as the data that it receives for things such as days to pending. In other words, how long from the day a unit, whether it's a home, condo, or townhome, was put on the market to how long before it is under contract, and that is 26 days. All right, moving on. As of right now, we're in the first week of September, and you are seeing, here we are, active listings, 302 units currently available, 494 active listings. Average price is $2.1 million. Land opportunities. I just took a look at all of the land that's currently available. Breckenridge is approaching build out, meaning no more land. However, there are some key places to still consider. One of my favorite areas, the Highlands at Breckenridge. There are a few pieces of land for sale there. Usually you're going to spend 1.5 to 2 million, and that might be around a half of an acre, maybe up to an acre. The most expensive on the market right now is in Peak 8. I had a home right next to this piece of land last year for $9 million, and this land is on the market for a little over $7 million. Now you can get much more for your money, if you will, if you go up or up the mountain, if you will, south of Breckenridge on Highway 9 into what's called Quandary Peak, and there are quite a few lots up there. Amazing views. However, you're up high, over 11,000 in elevation. So a lot of variation in price. You can get a property there for maybe 400,000 or so. It just kind of depends on the land and the views. All right, let's take a look at what else do we have. Negotiating power returns to buyers. Absolutely. More inventory means it's more of a buyer's market. There's definitely more room to negotiate. Just went under contract for one of my buyers this week, and luckily we were able to negotiate a wonderful deal for him. So as always, it depends on the numbers, what's going on, how many other similar units are on the market, how many days has a particular unit, whether it's a condo or home, been on the market. All of these things affect our negotiating power. Okay, 80% of the properties that are going under contract are going under contract for less than the list price. They are not coming in at full price. As always, it entirely depends on the property, its location, its upgrades, all of these things factor. There are a few, just a handful, that are going above the asking price, 3.1%. All right, so again, here are some stats, if you will. Redfin assessment, market classified as somewhat competitive with homes averaging 38 days on the market. We already saw some of those stats on previous slides. Zillow is saying average home values are declining as market moves towards balanced conditions. I would argue we're a little bit more in a buyer's market right now. Definitely have shifted from that seller's market that I was referring to earlier. All right, so interest rates. Now, personally, I deal a little bit more with luxury buyers. That said, I would say about 75 to 80% of my buyers are paying cash. That is not abnormal in a resort market, whether we're talking Park City, Utah, Bozeman, Montana, Destin, Florida, you name it. However, interest rates, even though they're cash buyers, interest rates do affect cash buyers. They are they want to not overpay just as much as the next person. So they are watching interest rates. And rightfully so, they are considering, well, if the interest rates are going up, then a seller should want to lower the value of their property. That isn't always the case, again, in a second home market, because a lot of times the second home owner will again say, I don't have to sell. I'm going to hold on to it. I feel my property is worth its particular value, so I'll just hold on to it. So interest rates are something we watch, but they don't affect us quite as much as non-second home markets do. So let's go ahead and move me over here. All right, so for a buyer, if you're considering buyer, you do have more options, an expanded selection right now, which is fantastic. More to choose from. You can be a little bit more particular, and you might be able to negotiate a right deal depending on if that seller is really in the mood to sell or not. As we talked about, enhanced negotiation. Like I said, I just went under contract again this week and was able to negotiate very well for one of my clients. Value opportunities in any market. Yes, there are values to be had. Again, don't be fooled and think that you're going to get a fix and flip type of opportunity in Breck. It does happen. I've personally done it where I bought a home, put in a few $100,000 and been able to sell for a nice profit. But please don't think that is necessarily the norm up here. All right, let's see. So as far as my wonderful sellers, I do have a few listings currently on the market. One of my properties has had, and it's on the market for $5.5 million. We have had 3 offers. Haven't been able to come to terms quite yet for various reasons, but it is important to price correctly. As my sellers know, I don't like price reductions. Of course, it's out of the seller's hands, out of my hands, depending on economic conditions. And quite frankly, I joke, we can't control our neighbors. So if our neighbors reduce the price of their property substantially, it will affect our price. But you absolutely need to really understand what is going on. I personally go into almost all of the surrounding competition so that I can make sure that I can talk intelligently, especially when it comes to negotiating on behalf of my sellers. So precision pricing. A premium presentation. Luckily up here in the mountain, that's pretty standard. Most of the homes are just beautiful. Condos as well. So as far as professional staging, yes, that does matter. We do want your property to shine. However, since so many are second homes or are rentals, a lot of times we don't have to do too much to stage, which is to your advantage. And then a little bit of patience. Again, we're having longer days on market right now. Is what we are seeing. But again, if you're a seller, talk to me. Let's strategize and see if it makes sense to sell at this time of year. A lot of the inventory does come off or expire around September, for sure October, November. So I just put a home on the market about a week and a half ago. So it's never too late to put something on the market for the right buyer. All right, so here we are with respect to market perspective. So Breckenridge is absolutely, like I said, transitioning from an aggressive seller's market towards balanced conditions or more towards that buyer's market. Luxury segment strength, like I said. Luxury properties are unique no matter where they are throughout Breckenridge, throughout Summit County, whether you're in Keystone, Copper, any of the Silverthorne is a favorite of mine. No matter where you are, a luxury property with the right buyer, you're going to be okay. That said, with respect to ski and ski out residences, they always command a premium. Everyone loves the convenience and those views that a ski and ski out property affords them. Investment property opportunities are always available. any time of year, any size of property. That is where I shine. I used to own a large property management company, so I am very good at helping any potential buyer understand the pros and cons of various areas and the demand as far as rentals go. And as a side note, if you didn't know, Breckenridge does have 4 zones, and then you have Summit County if you're not actually in Breckenridge. For those 4 zones, not all of them allow short-term rentals. There's a lot of rules and restrictions, so you'll definitely want to comment down below if you have any questions on that. All right, to get in touch with me, be sure to look in the description down below. All of my contact details are there. Would love to send you more details. I'll send you this presentation along with as well as, there we go, answer any questions you may have. Just comment buyer guide in the comments below and I'll be sure to send this over to you. You can certainly schedule a call online. I get this all the time. People say, I don't want to waste your time, Laura. It's not a waste of time to ask me any question, big or small. I love it. I love discovery calls with buyers, sellers. Oh my goodness, you are my bread and butter. Love you too. Feel free to call me. Let me get you all the information that you need so that you can make the best decision possible for September. All right, until next time, feel free to, again, comment below with any questions, and certainly feel free to like, comment, and share this video if you found it useful. Until next month.